It's you! It's really you! All right. Nadia, cancel the whole evacuation. I don't care what's coming for us. We have got nothing to worry about.
He's wonderful at introductions, isn't he? I'm Nadia Gurel. You were the battle master, weren't you? Back before Zakul invaded?
Yes, that's right.
Toughest Jedi I ever knew. We took on things you could never even imagine. Are you hearing me? I don't care how many imps are here. They're toast.
So you know about the Imperials?
Yes, we don't know how many there are, but they have serious resources. If they're here, it's for a major fight, and we can't afford to give them one.
Civilians and non-essentials are loading up first. Who calls a doctor non-essential when there's a fight brewing? You ask me, the Jedi have lost their minds.
How exactly did you get mixed up in all this?
I got split up from Kira and Scourge. It's a long story. So I went to find other Jedi. Seemed like the best odds of catching up with them. Or you, eventually. I heard about the colony after it was already built, so I was a latecomer. But they were happy to have a full-time doctor on staff.
Well, that was before we got to know him.
Dr. Kimball, Nadia, how go the shuttle preparations?
We'd be a lot further along if we hadn't borrowed so many of the shuttle's parts for the colony systems. It's going to be hours before we can launch.
We should be calling the whole thing off. Do you know who this is? Hero of Tython, Slayer of the Emperor? Ring any bells?
I command the Alliance now. We overthrew the Eternal Empire and destroyed the Sith Emperor, once and for all. I've come to help.
Sounds like a lot's happened since we cut our communications.
Which helped to keep us hidden all this time. I am quite familiar with your past service to the Jedi, Commander, and I look forward to updating my journals with your more recent exploits. It's probably time you had a chapter all your own, but that will have to wait. The Sith are on our doorstep. I formed this colony to safeguard the Jedi and their teachings for the future. Now, we must abandon it to serve that same goal.
Republic reinforcements are coming. We just have to hold out until they get here.
We welcome any help they can offer, but until they arrive, our plan must remain the same. We have to get these shuttles ready as soon as possible.
Do you have a new hiding place in mind?
Somewhere further, more remote. I once read claims of a forgotten Jedi world deep within the unknown regions. Perhaps we'll seek it out.
Perimeter alarms. They're coming again. I'm on my way to handle it.
Yes. Take backup this time.
Backup? I got all the backup I need right here.
Commander, this is Tau Adair, our head of security. Would you be willing to join her in holding off the enemy as we complete our preparations?
Could I bring Doc along as well? We make a great team.
Tau, what do you think?
Sensors aren't picking up a major push. Could even be a feint, so we shouldn't overcommit. Either way, sending the two of us is overkill already. Doc and Nadia should help cover the farming crews.
We'll leave you to it then. May the Force be with you.
I'll find you later. I've got to hear what you've been up to.
What did your sensors pick up? Imperial soldiers? Sith?
Neither. The imps are just toying with us. The old man's pretty sure they're being led by a Sith named Melora. Melora's into biology, genetic manipulation, Sith alchemy, blah blah blah. She makes monsters. For us, she's cooked up some kind of mutated Geonosians. Hyper-aggressive, heavily armored, psychotic Geonosians. With weapons. Making their way toward the colony in swarms.
That doesn't really sound like you're being toyed with.
The mutants are brutal and tough in a fight, but they aren't strategic. If the imps were serious about it, they could destroy us faster without the storybook monsters. Ossus is riddled with old, buried ruins. The mutants like to cut through them to approach unseen. We get out there and collapse a few tunnels, they'll be cut off, and the colonists will have a lot more time to move.
Then let's get to it.
After you, Commander.
have you been living at the colony?
Since the beginning, almost 5 years now. 5 years of peace and quiet. We had a good run. Of course, it took me nearly 2 of those years just to relax. I was sure someone would show up looking for blood. They always do.
How many Jedi were left after the war with Sekul?
We honestly aren't sure. After the Republic surrendered, the old man didn't want to risk getting an accurate count with names, in case the Cool got a hold of it. So, we all went to ground, to watch, wait, and rebuild. Not my first choice, but I see the wisdom in it.
Do you know where the rest of the Jedi are?
There were still contingents on Tython and Ilum last we checked. Didn't bother calling the Green Jedi, they'd never leave Corellia. Most are probably hiding in groups, in far-off planets like we did. Or walking their own path, following the Force. That was my plan, originally.
Who changed your mind?
The old man. He's always understood me best. He convinced me that this was where I needed to be, and I think he was right. May the Force be with you. take one more look around before we set off the charges. There's gotta be something here the old man would want. Last one.
Judging by your technique, you must have done a lot of fighting before you came here.
More than most, more than they ever trained us for. My first battle was Corellia. I flew in on a transport with 5 of the Jedi, one of the ones with the open sides, you know. The pilot took us in low, between the buildings. We're in midair, and this Sith Lord, he just jumps right into the transport. Red lightsaber in each hand. 5 of my oldest friends were dead before they could even blink.
What did you do? How did you deal with the Sith?
Same way I usually do. I killed him. The Sith had turned toward the pilot before my friends even hit the floor. I was behind him before he ever knew I was there. I nailed him with both hands. Hit the nerve clusters that run just over the ribs, felt them crack. He dropped both lightsabers on reflex. I don't remember where the grenade came from, must have been his. I smashed it right into his mouth and shoved him back out of the transport.
You don't mess around, do you?
That would be one of the things I learned about myself that day. Let's check in with the old man.
Now, what's your status?
We've closed all the tunnels we could find. Sending coordinates now. Any chance you could backtrack to their source on some of the old maps?
Of course. Let's see. Yes, here we are. They were all part of a residential structure that must have largely collapsed centuries ago. I'm sending coordinates for the structure's main entrance. If you can seal that, the mutants' hidden approaches will be cut off completely.
Do you have the evacuation shuttles ready yet?
They're close, and we have most of the essentials packed and ready. Keep up the good work on your end, and we'll have nothing to worry about. The entrance you're closing is located in an area our archaeologists never fully cataloged. If you find anything of interest, please do your best to recover it.
Will do. Tau out. Ready when you are.